Let's continue. Let's try to finish the Siman tonight. Siman Kuf Nun Vav. Page Shin Tzadik Vav. Page Shin Tzadik Vav. Next page, yeah. Siv Yud Aleph. Shin Tzadik Vav Siv Yud Aleph. So yesterday we spoke, sorry, not yesterday, 2 days ago. We spoke that there is Rechilus, Loshon Horo, and Meiti Shemra. 3 levels. Leiselech Rachil Ba'mecha. Rechilus means talking about, you said things which are true, and you didn't have any intention to, it wasn't anything bad.
Someone tell me that they call that hearsay in English. Like something like you hear, I heard this, they call it hearsay. It's an English
right,
word.
but hearsay not necessarily is true.
Not necessarily?
True.
Not necessarily constructive of the say.
But here we're saying, right. But we're saying, for sure it's not true.
If you hear about that,
But gossip, this is like gossip. Yeah, I mean, definitely it's hearsay for the person who's hearing it because he doesn't know if it's true. But I'm saying for the person who's telling it, he's not hearing, he's telling it. The issue of him telling it over is, they say that you're gossiping, even though things that you know are true about a person, but there's no reason, there's just time to talk, just to talk about.
Miller was always in favor of talking about the Nobel Peace Prize. One of the Nobel brothers died, and they wrote an obituary about the one that was still living. So he read his obituary that he discovered the biggest nuclear destruction force in the world to destroy the world. So this is what I'm going to be known for. So he endowed the Nobel Peace Prize. So this, because reading his brother's obituary, which there was a reversal in the obituaries, and he heard what would be, So he changed course.
So even though a person does not have any kavanah for anything bad, and it's true things, when he goes around from this person to that person to that person, just to stam shmooze for no purpose. As a purpose, obviously, a person could say something, this person needs help, he's not feeling well, to talk about things, but just stam to sit and talk about people and private things, and it's not appropriate. Now, that's called Rechilus. We spoke yesterday that then there's Loshon Horo. Loshon Horo is someone, when you say something negative about a person, even also if it's true, it's called Loshon Horo, it's Hara, it's Ra. But even though it's true things, but again, it's not appropriate. Like, for example, even if someone said, where can you find at this time of night, where can you find fire? People need to make a match, you need a fire. Where can you find fire? If not in the house of so-and-so, he always has fish and meat, he's always eating fish and meat. Implying that basically this person is yeah. Yeah. Zoyle v'soive. So, it's Loshon Horo.
It's what, Zoyle v'soive?
It's only considered Loshon Horo if he had kavana to say something negative. Otherwise, it goes into the status of Rechilus. But anyways, either way, it's aser, and it's included in the lav of Lei Seilach Rachel Ba'mecha.
Same penalty, right?
Huh?
The same penalty, right?
Yeah, same thing. Same lav of Lei Seilach Rachel Ba'mecha. And the kabloi, the one who receives it and hears it, is worse than the one who says it.
If he believes it's true. Say I'm not macabre.
Some people yenter, always talk. Can't tell them stop talking. You have such people.
That's not so good, yeah.
It's a problem. Good, bad, not good, not bad, but they always talk.
Listen, this is one of the hard mitzvahs. Not always easy to keep the mouth shut.
Siag l'chochma shtika.
I say there's an old question.
He do this very well.
The old question is that Pirkei Avos it says Siag l'chochma shtika. So the way how we're going to tell that someone's a chacham,
if he's quiet,
he's a smart person doesn't just open up and talk everything. He's quiet. He knows what he needs to know. He doesn't have to talk about everything. But what happens is the shaita, he also reading Pirkei Avos, and he sees Yogel Chav Mishtikas, he's going to be quiet. How are you
thing
going to ever
is
be able
smart.
to tell?
Between Shota and Chacham.
Shaita Chacham. So the answer is Pashat. The Shaita, he can't be quiet. It doesn't help that he read Yogel Chav Mishtikas. He can't be quiet because he's a Shaita. A Shaita doesn't have Seichel, he's going to open his mouth. So he opens it, so automatically it's not going to, don't worry, you can write it in the Mishnah, he still is not going to be quiet. It's not going to help. If he's be quiet, he learned to be smart, then he's a smart person.
I saw that the Vilna Gaon says the reason that they have two eyes to see and 2 ears to hear, and one mouth to talk, one mouthpiece to talk, is to just be an active listener, not to like
To be what?
not to be a listen, not to gobble the whole time, just to get having one
2 ears. Yeah. So the Maisa, how these are all things which are true. The Chilas are things that someone says is true. If someone says something about someone which is not true, that's called sheker. That's moitzi shemer. You pashat making a bad name about someone, spreading bad rumors which are not emes. It's a different status. It's called a moitzi shemer. Okay, let's learn Sifyut Aleph. This is what we learned last time. Oichad ha'mesaper b'lashon b'fnei chaverei. Oisheloi b'fnei chaverei. Whether the person says the Lashon Hara before his chaver, or not in front of him, or v'mesaper b'dvarim shegoymim im nishmu ish mipi ish lahazak chaveri begufay im amoynei or l'tzarei lavchidoi, or one who says things which cause that if they're heard from person to the next person, it spreads around, it can damage his friend, whether physically begufay, whether it's monetarily, or the tzari will pain him. It won't hurt him, but it will pain him. The afchide will scare him. Even though the things that you said over were not negative things, that also is included in Loshon Hara. Even though what you actually said was not negative, since it will cause negativity, it will cause ra, it falls on the status of Loshon Hara. That's the Chiddush. V'im namru dvarim eil fnei shloisha. If it was said already in front of 3 people, so 3 people know about it already, it's already considered like it's known. If you told over what 3 people heard something, someone came and told 3 people something, information, and then one of the 3 went and spread it further. Since already 3 people knew about it, it's public knowledge. Something which is public knowledge is not an issue as long as you don't have bad intent. As long as you don't have intention to spread the rumor and reveal it further, that's not your kavana, then it's not an issue to say it over again.
The reason 3 is like Beddin? This way
Not because of Bezdin, but because 3 is already like a rabbin.
Like
It's
something.
public. It's public. It's not private anymore. You know, you told a secret to 3 people. It's not a secret anymore. It's already public knowledge. The way it works, you tell 3 people, the whole world knows, right?
I put in a reminder that if you tell someone it's a secret, you can rest assured that it's going to be told over. If you tell a secret, don't tell anybody else, you can rest assured. He has in one of the memoirs.
Who has?
Rabbi Hutner has it. Rabbi Hutner said by the Navi Shem. He took the man. Tell them, don't tell it about anybody. I'm telling you, but don't tell anybody. Then right away you know the whole everybody knows.
You already know it.
The Ma'omer Mazir, every person says to the next person also says, don't tell. The Ha'omer is a famous line, Asad in Brad. It's a secret in the city of Brad. The whole city of Brad knows about it, but it's a secret in the city of Brad. Im Ha'omer Mazir Shalai Oimrei Filam B'fnei Rabbim. If the person says it over, he warns them not to say it over. Even if he said it in front of 3 people, it is Lashon Hara. Right? Rabbi Hutner was saying practically you shouldn't do it, but if someone told you clearly, don't say it over. It's a private thing, I'm just telling it to you 3 because it's important for you to know. And you went and said it further, it's Lashon Hara. Now, when it's talking about Kishemesaper, Fnei Chaverei, or Fnei Shloisha, Yesh B'Shem Lashon Hara, Lo Ha'omer. When is it that you say over something in front of your friend or before 3 people? that's considered Loshon Hara, to the Omer, to the one who said it, is Kisha Omer Davar Shakanta Gnai. It's only when you said something which is negative about the person. Or Davar, that's not negative, but that information Yachol Ligam as it can damage him. Oitzar. Har Davar Sheyesh Loimer She'ein Kavanose Loshon Hara. If someone's kavana, if it's not clear as kavana, kegoin heicha matzi oil based pleni shematzle basar, where is found light in that house because he always has meat there, flesh. Eim misham lashon hara im oimekim b'fanav. It's not Loshon Hara if he said it in front of him. Also, he said it in front of 3 people. It's something which is not negative at all, and it won't cause any negativity. The previous sif we spoke that the person said it in a way, a negative connotation. Where can you find fire? Well, it must be in that person's house because he's always having meat and fish. It was negative. But he's just saying a statement which there's nothing to the statement. There's nothing bad about the statement. You're just saying this is where he has fire in his house because he's making a barbecue. You're not saying anything negative. It's not something that could damage him. So if you said it in front of the person, he's there himself. Or you said it in front of 3 people, which is if you said it in front of him because information is going to get to him. It's not a negative thing. It's not an issue.
They have a statement in Hebrew, Oznaim lakotel. When you say something, even in the wall, hear you. Don't say it.
They say the walls of your home, there's a Gemara, the walls of your home give testimony. You have to 120. I think this Gemara somewhere, I don't remember where it was.
How do you feel? I was in the hospital one day.
Just a vacation. I just saw you by the L'chaim. In between, you went to the hospital?
You fast. Thought you'd be here.
The fast. You didn't fast all.
Baruch Hashem.
Diabetic.
But I got a great appreciation for Hatzalah, for Maimonides, for the people there. It's very, and for doing Bikur Cholim, because from there I went to do Bikur Cholim until 1 o'clock today. So.
Okay, Sif Yud Beis, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Refi Chelur. I noticed on the wall that you took a number of Mishnayos and Fiyitas Kislev of David. When I come into the shul, I looked at the list. It just went up the sign.
Mesechtas, not the...
Mesechtas, yeah. But there's also some where there's no Gemara.
What? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I noticed I came in the shul, I saw you took a few Mishnayos for Chalukas HaShas, Fiyitas Kislev. I saw on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, Sif Yud Beis, Avak Loshon Hara. Was heißt Avak Loshon Hara? What does it mean, Avak Loshon Hara? Keitzad. Mi yomer leploini shiyeh k'mei shuato. Mi yomer leploini. Who says about so-and-so that he should be the way he is now? Let's not talk about that person. I don't want to let you know what happened to him. So it means you're trying to imply that there is something bad that happened, but you're not going to say it. Something similar. It's called Avak Loshon Hara. Means it's not Loshon Hara itself, because he didn't actually say Loshon Hara, because he said you're not going to say the Loshon Hara, but you're implying something. That's called Avak, means it's something of Avak Loshon Hara implies that there's Avak, some dust from Loshon Hara. There's some not actual Lashon Hara, but it has
Avak in Hebrew meaning dirty, but not really dirty.
dusty. V'chol mesaper b'tevos shechavei. We're in Sif Yud Beis and Patience Sadik Vav. V'chol mesaper b'tevos shechavei. The third line. Anyone who talks about how good his friend is b'fnei soinov, before his enemies, or b'fnei rabim me'ha'am, or before a lot of people, sheish lochush, that one can be concerned, sheish b'm echem, he said that one of the people there are one of his enemies. Harei za avak Loshon Hara shu goyim shesoinoi yisaper b'gnos. Because you're caused that his enemy should talk against him. Because you're going to say, oh, how great he's unbelievable. You know, that person there is going to biting his teeth and he's going to say, nah, he's not good, he's not this. Say the opposite. All right, oh yeah, that's what you hold. This
It's one of the reasons for sin.
goyim that you should cause.
Become enraged.
Yeah.
It's one of the inyanim why a sin don't is fake.
So again, it's Avak Lashon Hara because it brings the Lashon Hara. It's not Lashon Hara itself. However, for the Oyeva, before someone's friends, you can talk about his praises. Don't talk, even in front of friends, don't talk, only praise him. What happens? You praise a person a lot, and people start saying, oh, you think he's only good. So say some negative things too. When you go through a person's character, you say he's like this, he's like that, he's like this. It's impossible that you're not going to also come to say negative things about him.
When it's a mitzvah to be with the dust, here we say it's Avak Lashon Hara.
Depends which dust you are. The dust of a Lashon Hara you don't want to be with, but the good dust.
Which good dust? Ave mitavek
Oh, afar.
afar shel tzadikim.
Yeah. Also, someone who says Lashon Hara in a tricky way. The last line of the page, he says it sincerely, as if he sincerely, as if he doesn't know Lashon Hara. Or is also pointing that a person did it?
He plays stupid.
Right. I'm not sure why that's Avak Lashon Hara. He did speak Lashon Hara. I don't know why it's called Avak. It's a good question. Well, if he's playing a trick, then he really is saying Lashon Hara. So why is it called Avak Lashon Hara?
It's not direct. Same like Avak, not direct. It's a trick.
But he actually said Lashon Hara.
But he doesn't go direct in saying.
He's making believe like he's saying he's not trying to say Lashon Hara. Meaning, the way he says it, he doesn't say it in a way
Clearly.
that sounds clear, like negative.
Mm-hmm.
His kavana is, his intention is to bring out negative. But when he says it, he doesn't say it in a way which is clearly negative. So that's why it's an Avak Lashon Hara, because he had bad intention, but the fact is he didn't actually say clear out Lashon Hara. Sif Yud Gimel.
Not necessarily. He could not be that he does not have a cover not to say something negative, but in fact he is saying something negative.
Then it's not Avak Lashon Hara, it's Lashon Hara.
No, because that is Avak
Just
Lashon Hara, because like Avak is like something which falls off something else. So if you say something good, which has like something bad attached to it, that's like...
Okay, so that's what we said earlier, but in the last two lines here he's saying, someone who actually says Lashon Hara seems, and he says it in a tricky way, like as if he's sincere, he doesn't realize it's Lashon Hara. As if you close your eyes and make believe it's not Lashon Hara. It's obvious that there's a differentiation the way he's saying it. He's not saying clear outright Lashon Hara. He's being tricky about how he's saying the Lashon Hara. So that's what it comes to Avak.
Like for example, he's saying, "Oh, Reuven give a lot of tzedakah. It's a good thing about him. He probably doesn't pay tax. That's why."
It's
You
like
put the other way. He did something good. You put something bad.
He's
Negative,
casting
yeah.
an innuendo. It's a subtle.
right. It's something much more subtle.
That's cute.
Sif Yud Gimel. Oyrich Einir Ashoy L'Shapeach Es Balabai Shetuv Ayin. A guest who stays in someone's house is not permitted to praise the balabas, how wonderful he is to me. Shema Yirbal of Oirchim. Yoichlu kol hashaloi. Maybe too many guests will come to him, and they will take away. They will eat up everything he has. Someone who blesses his friend, b'kol gadol in a loud voice. B'boiker, in the morning, hashkem klala tichashiv. It's going to be considered something, a klala, something negative. Like he's cursing. Obviously, the person doesn't mind that he's happy, he wants people, tells you, please let everyone know, it's different. Right? If Avraham Avinu was very happy, everyone should let him know that you come to his house. But if it's someone who, he invited a guest, not necessarily he wants everyone to know that he should all come knocking at his door. Suddenly you walk out of his house, and suddenly a minute later come tens of people are knocking at his door. I was nice to you, I let you in, I wasn't not ready to just bring everyone into my house. So you don't have to respect the person's wishes. He's not. But if the house is the chatchila house of Achnas Archim, and that's what they want, and they're open to see people come in, so you could tell people to go. It's different.
What about, like I had this incident, I had an open house. So people come say, they speak to each other, said, last week I was by Florence, but before I was by Pete. The people that have Achnas Archim, and they tell everybody where they were last week or where they're going next week. That's the same category?
Again, it depends what type of people they are. If the people don't mind, if the people
I know, most of these people doesn't mind. I don't mind if I have 40 people or 60 people. They're not different.
Right. So your house is a very open house. So this is a.
There are open houses and there are houses which are Hachnasat Orchim.
Right, exactly. So 100%. And if the person wants it and they announce it, they put up a sign, and they invite people and Shulalim wants to come, then obviously you're allowed to tell people about it. You're actually making the Balabaz very happy. But if it's a private person, a simple person, the person invited a guest over, he not necessarily wanted he leaves the Shabbos meal and suddenly a whole bunch of people come knocking at his door. If he gives Rishus, he gives Rishus, but
I was privileged to have Aaron in my house 25 years ago.
Wow.
And the Vatorah used to sit on the table.
Bashkin's parents used to have a restaurant on 13th Avenue when I was growing up.
13th
It was
Avenue.
called Crown. My father lived with Shamos to show me, come and see the first 12 tables when you came in. Whoever was hungry, you got chicken things, or giblets or whatever, and soup and this. Taste. I'll get them in. She said, look at a good man. Everybody came in like open house.
Right. Is it still open, the store?
Crown,
They went to did they open in another place?
I think so. It was called Crown. It was very
parents
Right.
used
I
to-
remember. I had a Sheva Brachas there,
You had?
yeah.
I met my daughter Sheva Bacha there
Yeah.
because the father wanted Rubash.
Yeah. You came? Yeah, listen, the older generation they love the place. My father always liked, my Shver always liked it. They always like going to eat
It was very quaint.
Yeah, they like the Hamish
Go
food.
to the kitchen. I went to the kitchen.
The younger generation,
this is not Loshon.
the younger generation's restaurants.
This is not Loshon.
I think it's good or it's not good.
Yes,
Avak.
that's something Josh is like looking to say.
Well, he has a son in Crown Heights, Moshe Rabashkin, a brother of the Shalom Martha, and his house is also unbelievable, full of guests the whole time, and he himself is serving them. Makes huge pots of
Who's
food.
on President?
Yeah,
And the basement had a shul, I think.
yeah. There
They
was a
did.
shul there at one point. Yeah, I don't think it's there anymore. And every Tishrei, he puts up 100 guests sleeping in the house.
Wow.
He made over his basement, just puts bunk beds there, mattresses, and sukkahs by his house. A huge sukkahs, whole front yard. He lives on President Street. There's big houses there, between
What is he doing in the front
closer to
yard?
Brooklyn. An entire front yard of the house, till the sidewalk, and it's a huge front yard all the way to the house. A huge building, like he built like a whole building there for the sukkah.
You mean
Huge
like
walls.
a tent?
No, he built huge
Sukkah.
walls with
Oh, a sukkah.
windows. The whole middle of all the frames of windows. Huge sukkah. He was maybe he could have had there 75 guests.
And he need a lot of food to feed these people that
Yeah,
come
and
to
he
his-
himself is serving people and giving them food and taking
That's
care
a
of them.
mitzvah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so
I miss these
I even
days.
heard that he was sitting over there and eating, and a French guy came and he says, "Move, it's Makom Kavua." He didn't even know who is the Balabait. That's Hat Kedekach. And what do you think happened? He said, "I'm sorry." You get up and move. That's him.
Yeah, very chesedic family. Baruch Hashem, now we saw had the big aliyah, and now the family were having an aliyah.
Yeah.
How many Emunah B'tochen Geula?
Anyone went to that event?
Split.
Anyone went to the event
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Chanukah? You were there?
How many Emunah B'tochen Geula people have? Four people have because of 100,000.
Baruch Hashem. I think he can makarb a lot of the young generation, the teenagers, different people.
Everybody. Monas, he told me.
In Israel, they greet him very well.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Till now, we continue going to yeshivas and everywhere.
Okay, Sif Yudalid. Kol Oimer Double Chaveri Ubabal Yomer. Anyone who says something privately to someone, there's an Isser of Bal Yomer, you're not allowed to repeat it. Ach Yomer Leich Emor. Until you are told, you can go and tell it over.
Anything? Even it's like trivial?
We just spoke about it, but don't say it to nobody.
I don't know if it's trivial. He's not saying, if he's not saying, he's just saying good morning, how's the weather? He told him what the weather's like, and you can tell it over, but he's saying he said something private, obviously. It's a private thing. So until the person tells you, you can say it over. He doesn't have to tell you, you're not allowed to say it over. He told you something private. You have to ask him if you have a shush to tell it over. It's a private thing, obviously. He's going to tell you, something that's not private. It's not. We just asked about you.
Today with the media.
Said we missed you by the shiurim.
Today with the media, something happened. The family doesn't know this, and it's already all over WhatsApp. This and this. Family doesn't know it. That's how fast things going. It's like crazy.
You have to be very careful.
Yeah, very careful.
Very good. Sif Tezvav. Also, Lemis Yisrael, a person is not allowed to count a yidden, a feeling miskaven laklahatul goyrol. Al eza schum. Or misper. A person is not allowed to count people. Is an issa to count people. Even if you're only doing it because you want to make a raffle or something. A lottery. A dvar mitzvah. Even for mitzvah purposes, we're not allowed to count people.
So why we say Osher Tamecha when we...
Ela mitziim ez ba'iseihem umaynim ez ba'is. They stick out their fingers and we count the fingers. Like let's say in the Koyanim, in the Beis HaMikdash. They would want to make a girdle who can do certain avodas in the Beis HaMikdash. The Koyanim would be in a circle. The Anshe base of those that were designated to work that day in the Beis HaMikdash. So the Shal, who would get to do what? So the Koyanim stood in a circle, and the Kohen who was the Mamunah, he thought about a certain number in his mind, a certain number, 13, whatever the number is, and he went all around, and they would put out fingers. They don't want to put their thumb out, but they put out other fingers. Everyone could choose how many fingers they want to put out, and he would count them. And
that was the goal.
That was the way the goal worked. So you're not counting the people, you're counting the numbers. Heshiyas HaMecha, so we're counting the pasuk. We're not directly counting. We don't count with numbers. We're not counting with numbers when we say Heshiyas HaMecha. Ksiv, it says, Yavei b'mishpat akol nelam b'soif kehelas. It says in the ending of kehelas, every single thing that a person does, a person will receive judgment for it. But obviously it includes the filo hayri kina b'fei chaveri. A person does something, kills an insect in front of his friend. He disgusts his friend. It's not appropriate. So even such a thing, there's everything you do, it's accountable. In Eretz Yisrael, by the way, have an issue with census, by the way, because of the issue of I remember seeing some place can discuss about the issue of census in Eretz Yisrael, that they count.
Oh.
Counting the minyan of people. Minyan, it's clear in the Torah from many psukim that we don't count people. Count the Masa Shekel, we don't actually count Bnei Yisrael. The inyan of counting brings a certain ayin hora, it can bring Magefa.
So how we say Osher Tamecha?
We're not counting. You're saying words of a pasuk.
Yeah, but you know it's counting.
Knowing, you also count the fingers in those counting. Counting the finger, you have ways out. If I just say words of a pasuk, there's no numbers to it. Shia, Samecha, Baruch, I just said over a pasuk. You're allowed to say pasukim.
It's what the European people
In a Hanami, we're trying to count the people, but we have a way out of counting them. You know, it's like you're doing it with a glove. You're not doing it directly.
What I do is that I count hats. I don't count the people.
Okay, how many hats we have in the room? That's good. How many yarmulkes we have in the
somebody
room?
doesn't have
people
it.
not wearing it.
As a yarmulke, that's also a hat.
How many yarmulkes we have in the room, right?
Does not consider counting people?
No.
No. If you're saying you're counting hats, not a problem. You're counting fingers, like you say, you're counting fingers. Sif
In the
Tezayin.
Israeli army now, there's a lot of foreign people going to the army.
Right.
So the head of the group many times says, okay, we do this and this, we're coming back to this base. So it is, no, we came back, we want to make sure that all the soldiers are there. So he told the soldiers, count, how many we are? The guy starts saying, he said, what you doing? He knew him ever from shul, that's how you count. And the Chiloni is like, I told you to count, but you start saying posuk.
He starts saying pasuk.
Sif Tezayin. Hasoch Sichas Chulin. Someone who talks Sichas Chulin. What does it mean, a Sichas Chulin? Mundane talk. Sichas hayaldus v'kalos hareish over be'esei shenemer v'dibarta bam v'loi b'dvarim acherim. Talking childish discussions, light-headed discussions. It's an ism, an essay v'dibarta bam v'loi b'dvarim acherim. A person should talk about Torah.
What you do, Loshma?
V'afim kabe itim l'Torah. Even if someone's keveh itim, lo yasik b'shar hayoyim elo b'dvarim sheyesh b'mtzorech. The rest of the day, even though he's not able to learn a whole day, so he's only kevei itim l'Torah like most Yidden. It doesn't give you a heter to just sit and chatter and talk narishkeit. So whatever is necessary, you talk things that are necessary. You got to do business, family issues, whatever the issues are. You talk. But stand to talk.
I would say it's necessary if somebody he needs a little break. He needs to refresh himself a little bit. He can't be non-stop learning. It's
Okay.
too much for him to handle.
Okay, there shouldn't necessarily have to become Irish. He could be, you can go and take a nice walk, and he could talk about some politics. It doesn't have to be Nadish, doesn't have to be childish. He shouldn't bring himself down. Good, if maybe if it's necessary for him, that he should talk childish. Okay, but if that's what his break is,
Still with Tanya from today, right?
Says one of the tzaddikim, maybe it was the Kotzker. The Kotzker Rebbe was known for being very sharp and emistic. I mean, he said things the way they were. And anyway, so there was a certain quote-unquote Rebbe that he would always talk against, that he's not a real tzaddik, Anyways, one day this person appeared in town, and the Kotzker invited him in and treated him mamish like such chashivas, gave him covet and everything. Anyways, after he left, they said to the Kotzker, like, what's pshat? You always said that he's a garnished. So he says that, it says that the person's supposed to give for tzedakah, he's supposed to, if a person doesn't have money, you have to give him money and to everything he needs, all his needs, all his tzrachim. Even if he needs, call asher yachsalei, the pasuk says, anything he's missing. Even if he's used to, let's say, having a horse run before him, and this is what he was always used to having this. And that was his status, and now he doesn't have it. So he's poor compared to his status. This is the life he's used to. Shkoyach, someone was a rich person, lost his money, so you gave him a little hut to live in. So yeah, he could survive, but that's not his life that he's used to, so he's not happy. You have to restore a person to his position that he is used to, comfortable. So he said for this person, in the covet, is important for this person. It's not much like a tzedakah that they just,
He told it to him?
give it, no, and he left, the cheshivas. Abalei b'sichas hayaldas v'kal zeresh, yasib l'mudei, v'kviyas eisel einel lahachmish yimasha kolim midarecheretz k'shis bar lo sepalav. The concept of kviyas itim l'toyre, itim comes the word eis, setting a time, l'toyre is not to minimize, to maximize Torah. It's saying to make sure that you don't go a whole day just doing business and taking care of your day-to-day affairs and forgetting about Torah. So you set yourself aside official time. So I'm always going to learn half time in the morning and night I'm learning.
That's for sure.
And for sure, I know, I set myself down, my sefer after davening in the morning, at night I go to shir. It's kavua. So you know you're always going to go by a day, but gisa by yoimam v'layla, morning and night, you're going to have a kviyus. But doesn't mean that it's only then. If you have extra time, you should use that more time to learn. And someone I heard this morning, someone saying, was talking about Mishnayis Bal Peh. He said, today, I have on my phone, I have the Gemara, I have the Shulchan Aruch, I have everything there. So I said, yeah, you have it all. The shaila is if you're a baki b'shas, so the phone is a baki b'shas. So you have to know if we're using it, you have the potential to hear shiurim and to do that. So we can get ourselves hooked onto different magidi shiurim and different people, listen.
The same amount of prosperity you have in terms of everything is available, the same way it's easy to get distracted by this other things that are so easily available.
100%, and the Yitzhak is always stronger. So Elam has the Shayim Goyim by the clip is much darker, so it's not always much easier. It's always going to be a challenge to be a Yid. Zrizim Magdimin LeMitzvahs. Zrizim are Magdim LeMitzvahs, people that are alert to do mitzvahs, they always do it on time and early. You do things right away in the morning. However, you don't push it off. You don't have to do it right away as soon as it hits, even before dawn. Before dawn, you don't have to do the mitzvah. It's okay. Dawn is enough. Get up by dawn and do the mitzvah. That's already a big enough challenge for a lot of people. By a bris, for example, a bris. This is my dimla mitzvah. Do the bris in the morning. Don't push it off later. Try to do the bris early. That's what we try to do bris early, unless for some reason there's a concept of Baroiv Am Hadas Melech.
Yeah, that's why they make it later.
The emissary's reason is more important than Baroiv Am Hadas Melech, but in certain situations, Baroiv Am overweighs. I mean, in Baroiv Am Hadas Melech, that more people will come. If the person's going to have a bris, it's not going to be a happy bris because a lot of family members can't come in the morning. Right. So they make it sometimes later in the day when people come back from work. Can't really do it in the winter time, but you have it in the summertime where sometimes people say for some reason they make it at 6 o'clock. But reality is a bris really should be done in the morning. That's the appropriate time. It should be done early in the morning. Certain sibas come up, you speak to a Rav and you could do it later. Sif Yud Ches, Kol HaMachlip B'Dvar Aveda. Anyone who does Chanifa B'Dvar Aveda, flattery, sinful flattery. He flatters about an Aveda because he's afraid in front of someone who sins, in front of a person who sins, he's afraid of him. He's concerned about the Baal Aveda, the Rasha, but he's not considered.
He's condoning it? What is
against it? He's not concerned with Hashem. So he's busy trying to make happy he's scared of the person's Avedis, so therefore he talks flattering about Avedis. Like, oh, this person does Avedis, it's not a bad thing. It flatters him. It's called Chanifa. It's a great sin. A great punishment. If your word's going to kill you, you can tell him, yeah, you did a good job. If you love Aveda, if you did a big Aveda, you tell him it was a great job you did in that Aveda. You're worried the guy's going to kill you, you got to save your life, right? There's no sakana issues, then it's also to go tell someone that, he did a good job. Just because the person's a chashiv a person, he's a chashiv politician, or whoever it is, and he did something wrong, you have no right to go and tell him that it's okay and joke with him about what he did, and it's okay what he did, and the good things which you did, which are not good things, because it shows that you're more afraid of him than you're afraid of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a big oynish. Sifri test. Al yamidam lakim sakana. A person should not put himself in a place sakana. But Yerman say she'oisli nes. A person say, a miracle will happen to me. Well, shema ain oisin le'nes. Because maybe a miracle will not be done for you. The im oisin and if a miracle will be done for you, menakilei mischuyosav, your schusim can be lost. It goes away from your schusim that you have, your merits, because it's like you bought it. If you somehow Hashem had to make a nest for you,
use credit out.
So you lost your credit. V'yesh mechacham she'inim alav b'sfinish yesh bar shein gmorim. there were certain chachamim that would refrain from going in a boat which had in it Rishayim Gemurim, total wicked people. Sheba nifkedin aleim. Maybe there would be a din, a judgment passed on these people in the boat. And maybe the boat will sink with him on it too. Because maybe the nest won't happen for you. So you can't ain seimich on nest. You're not allowed to rely on a nest.
Maybe just the opposite, just like Avram Ravina asked about Tzaddim. If there's X amount of people tzaddikim, save it. Maybe tzaddikim will outweigh the Rishon.
If you're in that madrega, tell you a story in a minute. V'yesh mechacham she'im machzer laver b'svina she'yesh b'Yehudim v'einim Yehudim. Omar shasat in Yishel b'shteimus. There are certain chachamim that would go in Dafka look for a search to go on a boat. Boat travel was very dangerous those days, right? The boats weren't that. That was the means of travel, and it wasn't the best. They would Dafka look for a boat which Yidden and Goyim were going on the boat together. So the Satan does not rule over two nations at the same time. There's two different nations on the boat, so this boat won't sink.
I owned the Torah to a boat that went to Antarctica just now. It's still there.
You loaned a boat, a Sefer Torah?
Yeah, they went
to a boat that's going to Antarctica.
Yeah.
For scientists?
No, I don't know. Whatever. No, the thing is that he said 50 people are going in a boat that's 200. He says there's some kind of a din that there has to be, you have to be a minority, and the goyim should be a majority. Maybe because it goes on Shabbos?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Sure, yeah, he's right, yeah, it's the Shabbos. It's the Shabbos issue, 100%.
I saw there was on YouTube that they went to the point on Antarctica, and they made a siyum.
Made a siyum.
Yeah.
They went so far to make a siyum.
Siyum on Shas?
No, but first of all, over there it's summertime, so it's I mean, there's still snow there, but it's not...
the summer's like our winter.
Yeah.
Not like this year's winter, right?
Yeah.
Sif. One time there was a sikha that Rebbe one time spoke that the Meraglim, Moshe davened from the Meraglim, the Magefa should stop, they shouldn't die right away. So the ending Hashem punished them over Meshach for 40 years in the Midbar. But they were supposed to have been killed immediately. The plague started, right? Moshe davened for them. But it says that Moshe, the tefillah didn't help for the Meraglim themselves, because the Meraglim, the spies, they went against Moshe himself. So since they went against Moshe himself, Ein Kateger Nasa Saneger, Moshe couldn't defend them. You can't defend someone that's fighting you. But the Klal Yisrael, they were just scared about going to Eretz Yisrael. It wasn't about fighting with Moshe. So the Sikha went on to say that the same thing is in every generation, that the tzaddik of every generation, and like the Zohar says that in every generation is a Moshe. So it's the same thing that he davens for the generation to save the generation, but he can't help save the generation, save those people that fight him. So the Sikha was written up. The Rebbe said the Sikha written up and was given to the Rebbe to edit. And the Rebbe who edited it, he crossed all out in the ending where it said that the tzaddik can't help those who fight him. He crossed it out, and he wrote on it's not true, not correct. But they knew sometimes the Rebbe wrote not correct. It didn't mean that it's not all correct. It mean that it wasn't written properly. So they said, let's rewrite it over again, and maybe the Rebbe will accept it, because that's what the Rebbe said, seemingly better for bringing. So anyways, they wrote it in again, and the Rebbe wrote about it and wrote it's against the whole concept of Chassidus ideology, and the Rebbe said this paper should be burnt. Saref haniyar v'lo amr should not be said. The Rebbe didn't want it. He felt that we should try to help even those that fight. The tzaddik should be able to daven for them too. He didn't want to say such a statement. Sivchav kol mi shehikis dam ve'ein le'b'mela havris nafshi. Anyone those days, very the concept of bloodletting, because I'm taking out the bad blood vessels, the bad blood. It's called hakozes dam.
It's all blood.
And yeah, but they
you can't select which blood you
select. But they felt a person has disease in the blood, so they would drain out the blood, and he would have replenished himself with new blood. So anyways, the person after this, doing Hakazas Dam, was a very weak, right? She doesn't have anything to eat, to help him get back his koyach. You know, you have people to go and they donate blood and they give you some food there. Agav, you have to be careful. We donate blood. You donate blood. You're not allowed to make a chabal in your guf. It's for goyim. So you're doing it for a yid. You're not supposed to sit there just to go donate. There's plenty of goyim that will donate for the goyim, but just to go, you have to make sure the organization is giving the blood to a Jewish place, and that's
You know the mother that the son got killed. The husband and wife in Israel.
The whole car crash, the whole car,
right,
the whole family.
And the baby after 3 days died. They changed all her blood from top to bottom.
Wow.
I was talking yesterday on the radio.
What should he do? He has no money. Take a bad dinner coin. He should go to a store, and he should taste the wine. If it's good to buy it.
If you wouldn't have known better, you wouldn't give him to taste. It doesn't look like you want to buy.
Right? It doesn't look like he's serious.
And even though you know he's not going to buy,
you know you're not going to buy because you don't have money to buy.
You're allowed to do it.
So you just taste a little wine, and maybe he'll buy it. Afterwards, if he wants to buy, a dinner. The owner is not going to take this dinner because it's a bad dinner. It's not a good coin. He'll go to another wine merchant to do the same thing. Till he'll have a revius of wine to drink, and that will help him survive. Nowadays, the way we do hakaza, the days of Shulchan Aruch, bloodletting was not the same the way it was done in times of Chazal, where they actually literally took out most of the person's blood. It wasn't that way in later generations. We can learn out that someone's in such a situation where they have such a level of sakana, they're allowed to do this. The Divrei Torah, the last din in the simon, is very fascinating simon. A lot of different.
What is he trying to say over here? What is he trying to say in Chol?
Even though you're not allowed to do this, really, but in such a case, a person will be allowed to do it.
I mean, it's a haram. It's a shtickle shtick.
Sure, it's a haram, yeah.
But it's better than what?
The person needs it. He's not well.
You shouldn't just steal it straight up, or you shouldn't just, without it, just ask him to taste. So
well, if the guy's going to give him, he can ask the guy for matana. But if he doesn't have anything, no one's giving him. So he shows like I have something. He gives him a little taste because if he tastes it's good. Basically, the balabas is mafkir, like it allows people to take a taste.
But is he trying to stress that you're not allowed to?
Masha, you go to a store. You're not planning on buying it. You're allowed to go look at. You're allowed to go and taste the food, or they have, or look in the svarim if you're not planning on buying. It's not a library, right? So it depends. If the store says we'd rather let you look at the svarim, even though you say clearly you're not planning on buying because maybe you'll end up buying, okay? But if they were store only looking for potential buyers and you have no credit card and you have no cash in you, so there's no way in the world you're going to buy. What gives you right to go to the store to go look at the svarim?
So it's not this. That's why he's saying this idea.
So in such a case, in such situations, just to take a taste of something, which store owners let people who want to buy, you can go and take your same coin and go around and do it. Go taste around by a few stores till you get enough so you should get your koiches back to you.
So what's the point of giving him a coin? He'll give it to him without the coin.
No, you have to show that you have to show that you have some money. That you're a potential buyer. He looks at you, you're ani. If you show me you have some money, he tastes it, says, I don't want it, and he goes somewhere else. If you don't have any money, they're going to say, you don't have any money, you're the ani. We're not going to let you taste because
they're not going to let him taste.
No, because you have no availability to buy it. You have no money. There's no credit cards those days. If you don't have money, you don't have money.
A story with a rabbi that after the war in France, it was an hotel, but the hotel was a very expensive hotel, and they didn't want any immigrant to come. So there's a lot of Jewish people outside. And the hotel has a policy, if you don't have $100 bill, you can't come into this hotel.
To show that you have the ability to pay for it.
$100 bill is probably it
was a lot of money.
$10,000.
But the rabbi had this bill. So he went outside and gave the people and he said, okay, come into the hotel. And then he took the Rebbe give the $100 bill to people. They
during
went
the
into the
war.
hotel, and with the same dollar bill, he went again and again and again.
Okay. There is 2 psukim in Mishlei. It says in Mishlei, one pasuk says, Anei ksil kivaltei. Pen yechacham einav. When you have a fool is saying things which are foolish. How should he deal with the fool? So Mishlei, proverb says, you should tell him off. Because if you're gonna keep on saying his foolishness,
In his language.
he's gonna think that he's smart. He's a chacham be'einav. He's a smart man. Everyone listens to him. Everyone smiles, and he thinks he's a wise person. He's gonna grow up thinking he's a chacham. So put him in his place. Tell him it's narish what you're saying. It's a shtus. There's another pasuk. It says, "Al tan ksil kivalte pentishvele." Don't answer a fool in his foolishness. Maybe you'll also become like him. You're going to start talking with the fool and becoming. You're going to get foolish. You're also going to be like in his level. You're going to deal with this guy, he's a foolish person. So just ignore him. So how do we reconcile the psukim? So he explains it depends what we're talking about. If we're talking about worldly manners, worldly issues, don't answer him. He's foolish. He thinks this nadish things. Okay, let him think whatever he thinks. This guy is going to be the president. Let him think what he thinks. Whatever he wants to think about. It's not negaya to anything. It's not important. Let him feel good about himself if it's the world. But if it's in Torah ideas, he's saying foolish interpretations in Torah, then the person's going to go around thinking he's a chacham, ken Torah. Maybe he'll start pasking shilas, and maybe he'll thinks he's a Rosh Hashiva. So you have to let him know that you're not a chacham. So right away tell him that's wrong what you're saying. You don't have to tell it to him, you don't have to mavaza him, say it to him in a nice way. You don't have to embarrass him. He's not a bad person, he's just a fool. It's not his fault that Hashem made him a fool. You tell it to him in a nice way, explain to him that's not correct what he's saying. But he shouldn't be able to grow up go around and thinking about himself that he's a big chacham be'inav. So that's what it says. But divrei Torah anei ksil kivalte. Pen yeh chacham be'einav. But when it comes to worldly matters, al tan ksil kivalte, pen tishvele, maybe you will stoop down and become like his level. Mir Hashem, next week we're going to start a new inyan.